we have an interesting article here. I don't know why I always call them interesting before I even read them. I've only read the headline. As always, I kind of like to, if I can, read the article live, alive as in when I'm recording, to give my most raw reactions. It's not always like that, but it is in this case. So, Pentagon authorizes up to 600 military lawyers to serve as temporary immigration judges. Now, I'm going to give my big, fat, bold prediction, and this isn't to help like speed up getting people here legally or reviewing immigration cases and, just getting people into the country the right way, as you praise that, people need to do. This is going to be used to undoubtedly just speed up the mass deportation program, to hear cases of, maybe asylum cases or whatnot, to immediately dismiss them and just say, well, you had your court date, get out. Like that's my prediction here. We'll read this AP article here in a moment and see what they think. But yeah, that's my prediction. Before we get into it, before we read this, what do you think is going to happen? Like, why do you think they're doing this? Do you think they're doing it to speed up the legal process, or do you think they're just doing it to speed up mass deportations? I think the answer is pretty obvious, but go ahead and hit it. So, from the AP, Pentagon authorizes up to 600 military lawyers to serve as temporary immigration judges. Real quick, before we get into this, if you are new to the show, hit that subscribe button. It is completely free, and every single one helps so much. I can't even put it into words. I try to cover the news every single day. I'm not here to push you into one party or the other. I'm here to push you into a policy platform of actual common sense beliefs. We're talking free universal health care, free higher public education, a living wage, a livable minimum wage. No one working full-time should live in poverty. And of course, public infrastructure reform. All of this is deemed radical here. I promise you it's not. It is standard operating procedure in many of our peer nations, and it should be here too. If you support that message, even if you don't, hit that subscribe button. We can argue, we can debate, we can call each other names. Maybe in time I can push you to just one of these positions. Remove the team game from politics, okay? That's my basic message. Anyways, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has approved sending up to 600 military lawyers to the Justice Department to serve as temporary immigration judges, according to a memo reviewed by the Associated Press. The military will begin sending groups of 150 attorneys, both military and civilians, to the Justice Department as soon as practicable, and the military services should have the first round of people identified by next week, according to the August 27th memo. The effort comes as the Trump administration more regularly turns to the military as it cracks down on illegal immigration. And it's not illegal immigration they're cracking down on. They're cracking down on all immigration. They are deporting people and getting rid of people who have legal status. They are getting they are removing the basis for that legal status and taking, at least from TPS status alone, over 500,000 people and now ordering them to self-deport. Its growing role in the push includes troops patrolling the U.S.-Mexico border, National Guard members being sent into U.S. cities to support immigration enforcement efforts, housing people awaiting deportation on military bases, and using military aircraft to carry out deportations. The administration's focus on illegal immigration has added strain to the immigration courts, which were already dealing with a massive backlog of roughly 3.5 million cases that has ballooned in recent years. An organization for immigration lawyers called the new directive a destructive move meant to undermine the courts. Numerous immigration judges have been fired. Yeah, like I keep forgetting about this. At the same time, they're like trying to get all of these military judges or whatever in. They fired actual immigration judges. So if that doesn't paint a picture of what their intentions are, then I don't know what will, aside from just what they're doing. But even then, Republicans will still like deny reality. At the same time, more than 100 immigration judges have been fired or left voluntarily after taking deferred resignations offered by the Trump administration, their union says. In the most recent round of terminations, the International Federation of Professional and Technical Engineers said in July that at least 17 immigration judges have been fired without cause in courts across the country. That has left about 600 immigration judges, union figures show, meaning the Pentagon move would double their ranks. The Justice Department, which oversees the immigration courts, requested the assistance from the Defense Department, according to the memo sent by the Pentagon's executive secretary to his DOJ counterpart. The military lawyers' duties as immigration judges will initially last no more than 179 days, but can be renewed, it said. A DOJ spokesperson referred questions about the plan to the Defense Department, where officials directed questions to the White House. The White House official said Tuesday that the administration is looking at a variety of options to help resolve the significant backlog of immigration cases, including hiring additional immigration judges. The official, who was not authorized to comment publicly and spoke on the condition of anonymity, said the matter should be a priority that everyone, including those waiting for adjudication, can rally around. The head of the American Immigration Lawyers Association decried bringing in temporary judges who lack expertise in in immigration law, saying it makes it as much sense as having a cardiologist do a hip replacement. Expecting fair decisions from judges unfamiliar with the law is absurd. This reckless move guts due process and further undermines the integrity of our immigration court system, said Ben Johnson, the organization's executive director. Yeah, they don't need knowledge or experience. They're simply there to abide by what the administration wants and their directives, and that is to deny as many claims as you possibly can. It's that simple. Pentagon says the step may require mobilizing reserve officers. The memo stressed that the additional attorneys are contingent on availability and that mobilizing reserve officers may be necessary. Plus, the document said DOJ would be responsible for ensuring that anyone sent from the Pentagon does not violate the federal prohibition on using military as domestic law enforcement, known as the Posse Comitatus Act, which that's thoughts and prayers at this point, man. Like, that is thoughts and prayers. That's a concept. The administration faced a setback on its efforts to use troops in unique ways to combat illegal immigration and crime, with the court ruling Tuesday that it willfully violated federal law by sending National Guard troops to LA in early June. It is not immediately clear what impact shifting the number of military attorneys would have on the armed forces justice system. The attorneys, called judge advocates, have a range of duties, much like civilian lawyers, from carrying out prosecutions, acting as a defense attorney, or offering legal advice. Pentagon officials did immediately offer details on where any of the 600 attorneys will be drawn from and whether they will come from active duty or the reserves. I think they meant to put did not. The training that goes into being an immigration judge. Until she was abruptly fired in July, former supervising judge Jennifer Payton administered the intensive training that all judges in Chicago undergo before working in some of the busiest immigration courts in the country. After the weeks-long training, new judges are paired with an experienced mentor and have a 2-year probationary period. Payton doubted that military attorneys would be able to master the complexities of immigration law without that rigorous process. She has also said it wasn't clear how they would handle the hundreds of, or sometimes thousands of cases on just a Chicago immigration judge's docket each year. 6 months is barely enough time to start to figure out the fire hose of information and training, she said. Payton also was concerned that Trump's move didn't supply more administrative workers, including translators, whom judges rely on to make decisions. The stakes, she said, were life or death for people who would come before the new judges. None of it makes sense unless you were intentionally trying to weaken the immigration courts, Payton said. And it does make sense because that is exactly what they're doing. Again, it doesn't matter if these judges understand the complexities of the inner workings of an immigration court. It doesn't matter if they have to handle hundreds or sometimes thousands of cases. Like that's the point. They are there to not know anything, not give any fair trial. They are there to simply deny as many claims as they possibly can so that they can deport as many people as they can under the guise of due process. Okay, like we're at a point where it's like, okay, like, we can't just completely ignore due process anymore. Like, we're starting to get called out. We're starting to lose a lot of court battles. So, like, what if we just take over that whole due process and just install, like, pro-deportation judges and fire all the ones who actually hear cases and give fair trials? It's sad, it's depraved, but hey, like, what do you expect? I'm sure this is verbatim written out somewhere in Project 2025. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and I will see you in the next one. If you made it to this point in the video, I just want to give a special thank you. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button down below, and if you really enjoyed it, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button while you're down there. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. I will try to reply to any and all comments that I can. Until next time, watch that video on screen.